Hello everyone, this is Rising 11. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Keith, the host of this little channel, and we are looking at the GMF under 10s as they progress through the MYSL League and Cup season of 2025-2026. And it's been a brilliant season so far, and in this particular video we're going to have a review of our match against Alderley Development. And another cracking game, one that GMF came away with the spoils. So we will look at that in just a second. But all I wanted to say was thank you very much for everyone who's been, I've got lots of comments from people just who kind of messaged me sort of over social media, thanking for the footage and stuff that's going out there and the fact that they're really enjoying it, and I really appreciate it. And I just wanted to put this message out. Thank you so much to everyone who has been watching it, everyone who has subscribed, and everyone who has hitting that like button. It means a lot to me that this little channel is starting to kind of find its feet, and hopefully the material that I'm producing is getting better and stronger, and hopefully more watchable over this as the season progresses. And if you have done so, if you could on this video, it'd be magic. If you could hit the old thumbs up, would be brilliant. If you could subscribe if you haven't subscribed already and you do watch, because essentially I just want to try and grow this little channel as much as I can, and I'd love to be able to get back to grassroots in one shape, way, form or another, and I can maybe do that through this little channel. That's a goal of mine. Said this is kind of a labor of love and a personal project, but anyone who has liked, subscribed, I just wanted to say massive shout out to you. I can't thank you enough for all the support. And as I said, if you do watch any of the videos, do like them, please. It just helps the algorithm, helps me spread the message of what it is I'm trying to do. And also, if you have any comments on any of the matches and you like them, please put them in the comments below. Absolutely, again, helps YouTube find my material and push it that little bit further afield. Really helps me out too. Okay, enough of me talking. On with the actual review. Thanks for joining me. Hello everyone, welcome back to Rising 11. Yes, we are the channel that reviews the GMF under 10s in the MYSL League, but this time it's a cup. It's round 4. We played Alderley Development in another cracking game. Played in another venue. Last week we played in last week we were in Burnage Academy. This time we were up in Bellevue. Cracking little pitch, a cracking game once again. And the GMF boys are really kind of pushing this season to try and sort of elevate themselves. Last year we were in the championship. We found it very difficult. We moved down to Division 1 and we started to find our feet. And obviously our new some of the boys who have been brought into the team have just helped push us on to, I'm not saying the next level, because I'm not sure whether we're ready for a step up in the championship, but I definitely think we're able to compete at a much stronger level in this particular league at the minute. As I said, Alderley were up at the weekend. Very good team, played very good football, some very good dribblers of the ball, and we'll look at them very soon. What we're going to do first is we'll have a quick just run through some of the boys who had good games for the GMF team. Actually, the whole team again played really well. We had a full squad. We had 11 players. First time in a long time we've had the full squad completely available to us. Last week we were missing a few. I think we had 8. One sub this time. Coach Jack had a bit too many to work with. So that was a really difficult scenario for him. Kind of as he was kind of moving the team forward. Anyway, kind of rambling a bit. Cracking game in the first part of the match. GMF and sort of Alderley traded blows. There wasn't much in it. Already had a couple of opportunities early doors. Their number 10 in particular, very good player, very good dribbler of the ball, very powerful as well. Always kind of creating opportunities for the Alderley team, caused us a few problems, and we had to manage him as the game went along. Cracking wee player. Unfortunately, I don't know his name, so I can't really give him a shout out, but he had a cracking game. As did Alderley's goalkeeper, who was superb, because we created in the early chances, in the early moments of the match, we had some chances. Dan in particular had a bit of a sort of battle with the goalkeeper. The young lad made a really good save with his feet early doors, but Dan was able to kind of overcome that. And Dan had a brilliant game for us, playing up front. Sometimes Dan will play in defence, but Jack put him up front for this particular game. And when he was playing up there, he's got that little turn of pace. He's skillful as well, and he knows how to hurdle people. And for the first goal, he made a brilliant run. Conlon slipped a great ball down the wing. He was in, hurdled the goalkeeper, and managed to slot the ball into the net. As I said, prior to that, Dan had a couple of kind of, rangefinders, opportunities that were of similar ilk, but he couldn't quite. The young goalkeeper made some great saves. And then Dan got his first one. Dan's second goal, absolutely sublime. Kind of in a weird way, reminded me a bit of sort of Paul Gascoigne's goal against Colin Hendry a little bit, where Dan flicks it up over the young defender's head and, volleys it in. Dan's much further out, actually. He's probably quite a few yards further out, but is a belter, smashes it right in the top corner. One of the goals of the season for GMF. And that kind of set us on our way, and that settled the boys, the nerves that the GMF boys had, because up to that particular point, there was nothing between the teams, and it could have Alderley could have easily been ahead as much as we could have. As we kind of progressed through the rest of the game, as Jack made subs and brought different people on, we got a real strong foothold in it. Noah at the back, very, very strong. Big tackles, timely tackles, which were really important to us. And kept us in it. Theo, throughout the match, made a couple of really, really important saves, and I think they can be undervalued, because I think at certain times of the game you need your goalkeeper to be able to pull out a really good save, and Theo was able to do that, which was absolutely brilliant. And it just kept us with that sort of the opportunity to keep the lead, and keep the boys' confidence up, that because goals completely change matches. Like, the second you get a goal, you get that drive, you get that determination, you get that will to press on and maybe get the second one, and the flow of the game can completely change. But the GMF boys defended with their hearts, and they tried to sort of give Alderley as little opportunities as possible. And as I said, when they did break our defence, Theo was there to sort of counteract that and keep the ball out of his net. My two, shout out to them. Ronan was very instrumental at times. He had a couple of really, really sort of nice moments. He's really been working a lot on his footwork in this game, really, and it showed throughout this game. But it wasn't just that. It was his ability to kind of use his left foot, right foot passing and passing the ball forward quickly. Very, very impressive. I was very proud of him. And Conlon managed to score a couple of goals as well. He had a penalty shot in the first half. If you take a look at it, I'd love you guys to comment on it. The ref didn't give it, and fair enough. He felt maybe it wasn't a penalty. Get your comments in below. See if you watch it, they'll be in the full match highlights, which will be down here. I'd love to know what you guys think. And then also in the second half, there was a maybe softer penalty give, so I don't know if the referee was trying to even it up a little bit, but we got a penalty. Conlon absolutely smashed it. The young keeper from Alderley did get his hand to it. Just Conlon hit it that hard, just couldn't keep it out. And then literally just after that, not long after that, Dara floated in a beautiful corner. Conlon brings it down in the box and sort of volleys it into the roof of the net. And again, very, very good finish from close quarters. And by that stage, GMF were in a very strong position, and the boys held on to that strong position. But as I said, there was a patch, especially in the second half, where Alderley were surging forward, and as I said, they're number 10, some great runs. Very, there's times when he was turning, running inside out, and made some great moves, and put some good balls into the box. And as I said, unfortunately for Alderley, they probably deserved maybe a couple of goals in this particular game, but just didn't quite go or fall their way. And the boys, fair play to GMF, it was the first time that we actually kept a clean sheet in the leagues. We had clean sheets in the summer when we played in a tournament, which were absolutely brilliant. We went unbeaten in a little group, got to the semis, and then we lost to a very, very strong team. But in this particular season, we have not managed to keep a clean sheet. We come close on a couple of occasions, but we did, and that is testament to Theo with some really big saves. One brilliant one-on-one save where he made himself big and it clipped his shoulder and the ball went out. The young Alderley striker, and was so close to scoring a really good goal. And the rest of it was kind of just on the defence. Harris made some really important tackles. Conlon was back making some very, very important tackles. And Tommy as well. Tommy made a great tackle, last edge tackle, which meant that the ball was deflected wide. So again, The boys, it was, their work ethic was superb. Jack got plenty of time before the game kicked off to talk to them, because against Dortmund last week we struggled. My two in particular just couldn't find their heads in the match, and we even when we did create chances last week, we couldn't quite take them. But this week, when we did create the opportunities, whether it was through Dan or whether it was through Archie driving through the midfield, or Dara sort of taking his long range shots. I mean, Dara hit the bar twice, so we did create opportunities, and we could have maybe could have maybe nicked another one. But brilliant game, really delighted. We've potentially got 1 foot now in the semis, I think it is. I'm not entirely sure how it operates, but I think as long as we end up in the top 8 in the league, we qualify for the next round. And we 3 wins and a loss, I think that puts us in a very strong position so far. So absolutely delighted with that. Looking forward to the upcoming games as well. I think we play Stockport Dynamos, who we've not played yet, so that'll be another belter. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. And just for on a personal note, again from me, as I said, It's Only Kids podcast. They have been talking with a doctor, I think Kate Lund's her name, and they did a great interview with her. And it's just about how we on the sidelines, especially me in particular, because if you see any of my work, especially my early stuff, Jesus, you'll hear me shouting a lot. And sometimes these players need the opportunity not to hear. And I'm not even the coach. I'm just like a dad who's involved on the sidelines, and I need to learn to sort of just curb it a little bit. And I'm happy, it's just I try to be sort of positive with the boys. With my 2 sons, it's difficult at times, not necessarily during the game, but after the game, sometimes there is some interesting conversations in the car on the way home, and I don't always deal with that as well, and that just comes down to kind of work ethic. And sometimes can my two give more, can they sort of push more a little bit sometimes, and I realize that's something that I need to find a way to manage, control, understand a better way of assessing how they're actually playing, rather than it just be sort of me thinking that at times they should be doing that bit more, even though I'm very proud of them and I think they actually do work generally really hard on a football field, and it can be reflected in a lot of the footage that goes out there. But I have a lot to learn, and going forward in that particular episode of It's Only Kids Football, Kate Lund, Dr. Kate Lund, I think, talks about how to manage sort of dealing with the rising the rising sort of adrenaline that sort of flows within us, especially during a football match, and how to control that. And that's something I'm kind of working on at the minute. But that's from my perspective. From the GMF perspective, we march on to, well, not march on, but we have the opportunity maybe to go to the next round, and we will just have to wait and see what actually happens, because I think it'll be I think it could be an interesting cup run from here. As I said, Stockport Dynamos at the weekend. Looking forward to it. Should be another cracker. We haven't played them yet. We played them last year, and they were absolutely, they really gave us an absolute hiding last year. So not that we're looking for revenge. I think as long as we can kind of put up a good performance, and just do what the boys normally do, great. Well, and we'll call it there. Thanks very much for listening. If you're enjoying the content, please hit the old subscribe button, please hit the old like button. Massively helps me out. And yeah, there we go. We shall see you next week.